It's better. So, guys, Viktoria Plzen 1, Manchester United 2 in the UEFA Europa League tonight. This is your full-time reaction from the Europa League away game for Manchester United in tonight's league phase in the Europa League. Manchester United winning in dramatic fashion. And I think Manchester United have gotten away with one tonight, because I tell you what, that was really not pretty tonight from Manchester United. I thought we were absolutely terrible in that game tonight. And I think Manchester United have got to count themselves very lucky that they've even come away with 3 points tonight, because going by the first half and going by how bad I thought that was, I honestly thought the second half was absolutely pointless, because I just could not see Manchester United coming out with any kind of a positive result tonight. I think Manchester United have got very lucky that we've got a clinical striker, that Rasmus Hojlund, who has scored 2 goals tonight to take away a massive 3 points in Manchester United, which now lies us 5th in the Europa League, which is also the automatic knockout rounds for automatic qualification. So Manchester United are currently avoiding a 2-legged playoff at this moment in time with tonight's results as it stands so far. But we have got massively lucky, because I think without Rasmus Hojlund in the second half, I think Manchester United would have really struggled to come away with a result tonight. Honestly, I think it was a very frustrating performance from Manchester United, not just in the first half, but I think in the early stages of the second half as well. It was a very frustrating performance. I thought we were miles off what I thought it was going to be tonight. I expected it to be a massive onslaught. I thought Manchester United would have won this game quite comfortably tonight. And I thought Manchester United would have kept a clean sheet, because I think, no disrespect to Viktoria Plzen, I didn't expect much of a threat. I didn't expect much trouble. And I didn't expect Manchester United to be put in all sorts of danger than what they were put in tonight. And I think what I've realised tonight is that you can see that Ruben Amorim is now getting very frustrated on that touchline. I think you can tell he is not happy. I think you can tell he's very frustrated. And I think he can tell that the size of this job is going to be way too big for him. And I feel really sorry for him, because I think going based on the first half, Manchester United only had realistically 2 chances on goal in the first half. And that was about it. There was nothing pretty. I honestly thought we were really bad. And I thought this couldn't get any worse in the second half. And we started the second half as much as we went by the first half. Manchester United did not get going. Man United were way off the levels, and the energy looks absolutely depleted. It looks like the players just don't know what they're doing. And I think again, what we've got to realise, that there's a lot of those players whose futures are massively uncertain. There's a lot of players that got selected tonight that are now up for sale. And a lot of those players, again, are now fighting for their futures. And again, I think we've given them an opportunity to prove themselves. And I think we're trying to get them out of the club. And I think Manchester United have now started to get ruthless with it. And I think the ruthlessness is a long time coming for this football club. I think Manchester United have got to realise that the rebuild that is needed is going to be a big one. And I think it's got to be a big one, because I don't trust these players. I thought tonight we were miles off the levels what I thought we expected to be. And I was very surprised to be going in 0-0 at half-time, because I honestly thought the opposition we're playing, I don't see much of a threat from them. I didn't expect Viktoria Plzen to cause Manchester United any realistically big problems. And I thought we'd at least keep a clean sheet. I thought we would dominate the game. I thought we would dominate both halves. I thought we would dominate the ball. I thought we would be in control of the possession. But truth be told, it was the same old United, same old story inside that first half. We were absolutely dreadful. I mean, the team selection, I think, was a telltale sign of a lot of those players that were put in have been put up for sale. And a lot of those players, again, have shown tonight that their future lies away from Old Trafford. And I think we've got to be ruthless. We've got to be in charge here. and we've got to get rid. We've got to clear deck. We've got to clear out the dead wood before this situation gets any worse. And I'm positive that we've somehow found a result, because going by the first half, I was struggling to see how the second half was going to, improve, because I thought we were miles off it in the first half. I mean, the two chances we had, one through Bruno Fernandes, who again is very, very selfish with the ball, decides to go for the shot, even though he's got Amad Diallo running down the right wing completely unmarked in a load of free space, and again goes for the shot. And the only other decent shot inside that first half was the Joshua ZIRKZEE solo run. And apart from that, I was really, really struggling to see how Manchester United were going to win this game tonight. And I thought we would struggle. I thought we would really, really struggle. And I thought, you know what? We've got to somehow win this in the second half. Otherwise, I think the title of this video would have been massively different to what I thought I was going to be describing tonight, because I think Manchester United have got very lucky. I don't think Manchester United deserve the points, to be honest. I don't think we deserve to win the game. I think Manchester United really, really have got lucky with the 2 goals. I think Man United, in the end, have got the result they wanted, and we got the result we needed. But I think in the end, I think Manchester United have got to realise that a lot of those players that played tonight are done. I think the second half, I didn't see a lot in the first 15 to 20 minutes. I thought Man United were lethargic. I thought we looked out of ideas. I didn't see any tempo. I didn't see any energy. It looks like the players were absolutely lost. It looked like the ideas went out the window. And I don't know why that is. I don't understand why these players aren't fired up. I don't understand where the energy levels have gone. I don't understand what seems to be going on. Like, you can't be struggling away against teams like Viktoria Plzen. You need to be winning those games. You shouldn't be struggling to go there and win. You should be dominating them. You should be destroying them. Like, this is opposition that you expect Manchester United to be taking apart. Like, it's not difficult to play good football when you have good players, but when you've got a load of shite players that play for this football club who have now been put up for sale because Man United have decided to get ruthless, then I think a lot of these players probably know their time's up. I think a lot of these players know that their time has come. And I think a lot of those players tonight that got subbed were probably the correct ones to make, because I think Ruben Amorim's realised, I think, as soon as the first goal went in, and again, when you think Onana can't make any more mistakes, and then you think to yourself, don't do any more tonight because the mistakes you made at the weekend were absolutely pathetic. I honestly expected Onana to be a lot better than what he was tonight. To his distribution, to his lack of defending, to the lack of goalkeeper ability. Like, there's something wrong with Onana. There really, really is, because the first goal is absolutely laughable. And, the first goal, you think to yourself, you can't forgive that. You really cannot forgive that tonight. I mean, he tries to play a short ball out of the United penalty area to DALOT. And DALOT has got 3 or 4 Viktoria Plzen players around the edge of the penalty area, all putting immense pressure on the United penalty area. And you've got Onana playing a ball to him, and DALOT is facing Onana in the same direction when he gets the ball. And I don't think DALOT realises that he's got multiple Plzen players around him putting all that pressure around the penalty area on him when he gets the ball. And unfortunately, the ball goes nowhere near DALOT, because the Viktoria Plzen players have reacted very, very quickly to the distribution of that moment with Onana basically rolling the ball to DALOT. And DALOT, unfortunately, has reacted way too little, way too late to realise, I've got all these players around me. I've got my back up against the wall here. I'm facing the same direction as our goalkeeper. I'm directly looking at him, trying to find a pass out of danger, out from the back three. And unfortunately, the Plzen players have reacted to that way too quick. And they've reacted to that. They're not going to go and give up that amount of pressure that they put Man United under for their first goal. That was pathetic goalkeeping, but you've also got to slam. It's really, really poor defending from DALOT. not to realise that he's got all these Pilsen players around him. But you've got to blame ONANA mostly, because ONANA has put DALOT in that situation again. And the defending was bad at the weekend. The defending has got even worse tonight by the first goal. It's really, really bad defending. Like, ONANA should have realised that all those Pilsen players were surrounding that penalty area and putting massive, massive pressure on that United back three. And deciding to roll the ball out instead of trying to kick out of our penalty area, I think is a massive, massive no. I think is a massive mistake. And I think ONANA should have realised the amount of pressure that DALOT, Martinez and Mazraoui are already under tonight, unexpected pressure that I don't think United expected really from this type of opposition. ONANA should have realised in that moment, I've got to get this ball away from our penalty area. I can't roll this out and I can't just pass out for a short pass out my penalty area. I've got to get this ball away from danger, because you've got all these Pilsen players surrounding them. And if they put the correct pressure on at the right time, United will buckle under the pressure. And unfortunately, ONANA has got to take blame for the first goal. And it's not just down to the style. The style has got nothing to blame for the first goal. The style of play that Ruben Amorim wants is the correct one. The 3-4-3 is actually working and is actually making Man United benefit a lot more on the pitch than what it's not off the pitch. And I think it's down to the quality. And I agree with the comment Robbie Savage tonight. And again, you know I'm not a big fan of him, but I think he's absolutely bang on. It's not down to a style issue. It's down to the quality of the player, not in that moment. The quality is non-existent in Andre Onana. And I thought, the goalkeeping was going to get better. The goalkeeping situation has got a lot worse. And our goalkeeper coach left when Ten Hag went. And we've brought this new goalkeeper coach in. Has Onana been affected by the new goalkeeping system and the new goalkeeping coach at United, and he's not adjusted to that new setup yet? Or is it down to a lack of quality? I think it's down to the latter. I think it's down to a lack of quality, and I think it's down to a lack of understanding of what Onana should do in that moment of pressure, especially when you've put that back three under immense pressure. It showed a lot tonight that we've got a goalkeeper who's got indecision making. We've got a goalkeeper who can't keep clean sheets. That's 4 goals in the last 2 games. And you just don't, I don't see any improvement. I don't see a goalkeeper with any confidence. I see a goalkeeper who look absolutely non-existent. The quality's gone. The confidence is gone. The positivity is gone. The quality Onana seems to be absolutely wiped out at the moment. And I don't know why. I don't know why that is, but he does not look like the goalkeeper he was a few weeks ago. He looks a completely different goalkeeper, and not in a positive way, in a very, very bad way. And like I said, you've got to blame him for the first goal. You've got to be reacting better in that moment, and your decision-making has got to be at the highest standard. You can't afford to be sloppy. You can't afford to be putting your back three under that pressure with a simple roll out of your penalty area. You've got to be getting that ball out of danger. And the problem is, because we've got more players putting our back three under pressure, the more difficult United are facing to try and get that ball away of danger. And I'm not blaming Ruben Amorim. It's down to the quality. It's down to the quality of players that aren't producing the quality that Ruben Amorim's looking for. And in that moment, I would have got the goalkeeper off. I honestly would have got Onana off at that moment, because the decisions are laughable. The defending's quite frankly pathetic. And you've got to blame him for making that decision and putting United in that moment of difficulty. And again, when Viktoria Plzen player gets inside that penalty area because he's realised that rollout from Onana isn't going to reach DALOT, he simply robs the ball off DALOT like he's not even there. He gets inside our penalty area, and you've got Vydra. And we know what Matthijs Vydra is like. We've seen by the experience at Burnley and Watford. You can see what type of player Vydra is. You can see the quality. And again, his career is probably coming to more of an end now than what it was before, because he's at a club like Pilsen now. And, the Viktoria Plzen player has got one decision. And the easiest decision is to square it to Vydra. And exactly what he does. He squares it to Vydra. Vidra's got a free shot on goal inside the penalty area because Onana's out of goal, because Onana has put that moment of pressure on our defence for rolling that ball out instead of kicking it long, which I think he should have done But again, what did that do tonight? Kicking it long isn't exactly working, is it? So, you know, Matthijs Vydra has a one-on-one, open net, open goal, tap in, basically, because we play it past the goalkeeper. It gets played past Onana, and Onana's tried to come out to win that ball back. And it's been squared to Vydra, and he's particularly got a tap in. But I don't know who was on the line. It was either Mazraoui or it was DALOT. I don't know which one it was, but one of them tried to desperately try and block that shot. One of them tried to block that from going in. And at least the determination level's there. The adventure is clear to the naked eye that we've still got players who are trying to correct others' mistakes. And I think there was a lot of mistakes in that team tonight. I thought from the midfield, I don't think that could have got a lot worse. And I thought this isn't going to work. And I don't think it worked tonight. I think the midfield is absolutely fucking laughable. I've never seen Bruno Fernandes play this bad. And for CASEMIRO, again, what the fuck is this guy doing in our team? Like, you've got UGARTE, MAINOO, and Mount all on that United bench tonight. And all of a sudden, we think it's a good idea bringing CASEMIRO back in again to this team. And we know what Amorim's like. He's been absolutely ruthless with Eriksen. Eriksen hasn't had a sniff since Ipswich. Eriksen's been nowhere near this team since the Ipswich away game at Portman Road in the Premier League. He's been nowhere near the team. He's been on that bench to be left because I think he knows he ain't good enough anymore. He needs moving on. And it's a clear indication. I think they'll try and shift Eriksen in January because if he ain't going to get the game time and he's not going to play, there's no point him sitting on that United bench doing fuck all. So you might as well move him on because he was on the bench tonight and he didn't get used. And there was people calling, you know, certain fans calling tonight when the Joshua ZIRKZEE sub happened. There was people desperately trying to get Eriksen on, which I thought was a really, really bad idea. I didn't see how Eriksen was going to bring any calmness or any sophistication to make that midfield better. The midfield was absolutely pants. And CASEMIRO has to have a hard, long look now because the levels aren't there anymore. The consistency, the quality, it's not in his game anymore. And I think his midfield ability tonight, it's non-existent. And I think playing Bruno back in the midfield too now is really starting to see the worst out of Bruno Fernandes. I thought he was awful. I really thought he was awful. I don't know what he did tonight. I don't know what really he offered Manchester United going forward tonight. I thought his midfield role was to absolutely try and create as many attacking opportunities as possible with the midfield role that you've got. But it felt like we went really defensive with CASEMIRO and Bruno Fernandes. And for me, I don't think that worked. I think that really backfired. I really felt tonight was a big opportunity for Manchester United to go full guns blazing against his Pilsen defence because they were there for the taking in the second half. The second half was a completely different game soon as we went 1-0 down. We fucking changed as a club. We changed in that second half for the better. And that is what I liked because Ruben Amorim knew we go 1-0 down, which we deserved to do because it was our own fault. It was our own mistake. And we deserved to be going 1-0 down in that moment. And we deserved to concede because you shouldn't be conceding such a stupid goal like Onana and DALOT have done tonight in that moment of defensive lack of ability. And they deserve in that moment to go 1-0 down. They did deserve it. And I think in the end, that really did try and inspire us to get back in that game. And I don't know what it was, but it's like a light switch flicked on. It's like all of a sudden, we really tried to go for that game in the second half and try and win back the points because we needed it tonight. I think if we would have lost this game, I think Ruben Amorim would have been in fucking trouble. And I'm not blaming Ruben Amorim. I'm blaming these fucking players. And a lot of them have got to get out the football club because tonight it showed by body, it showed by attitude, and it showed by a lack of commitment that half these players don't give a shit. And a lot of these players are done. You can tell by body language that a lot of these players are done. And I thought, you know what? We've got to make subs. And again, the team selection is a joke. I don't know why we made so many changes to that team tonight. I don't know why DALOT was brought back in. I don't know why Malacia has been brought back in. I don't know why Joshua ZIRKZEE is in this team. I don't know why Rashford's starting. I honestly don't get the team selection. It's really starting to puzzle me. And I don't understand why we're doing it. I really, really don't. If certain players aren't good enough, then certain players need to be left on the bench. And people can say, well, we need to rotate. We need to rotate. We need to change the team. You can't play the same team every week. Unfortunately, I have to go back and say I completely disagree. Certain players should never be playing for that football club again. Certain players should not be playing for Manchester United. And a lot of them are in that team tonight. A lot of them started that game. And a lot of them have had their chance. They've had their opportunity. And there's about 5 to 6 of them in that first team that need moving on. And I really hope we do it. I really hope we fucking do it. And we pull the trigger on some of them and get them out. Because I think that's what's needed. Based on the first half and based by the first 15 to 20 minutes in the second half, that was a telltale sign of some of these players have given up. Some of these players have stopped trying because they know they've been transfer listed. Their futures have been told that they lie away from Old Trafford and they're no longer guaranteed to be safe. And I think it's about time we had that ruthlessness. I think it is about time we called it for what it is now. A lot of those players, by their body language tonight, as soon as we went 1-0 down, the body language changed. All of a sudden, the intensity levels and the quality levels went up. We started to play good football. We started to dominate that second half. Going 1-0 down always seems to spur Manchester United on. And I don't know what that is. I don't know why all of a sudden a light switch had to be turned on when we went 1-0 down. It's like we do it deliberately to try and find a way back into the game. But when you've got pathetic defending and a lack of any attacking opportunities, I was wondering where that was going to come from. And I think, by the substitutions tonight, I think some players' futures have been massively resolved. Massively. I think bringing Rashford off for Hojlund was the correct thing to do. I think Rashford's lucky he's not even got himself sent off, if I'm being really honest. I think that tackle on that Plzen player, especially where Rashford has been booked inside that first half for a really stupid, pathetic piece of defending and brings down a Plzen player deliberately, he picks up a stupid yellow card, and I don't know why he does it. You can't be bringing down Plzen players deliberately when you can't do your job, Marcus, properly. And again, I think the tackle in the second half, I think Viktoria Plzen have got absolutely everything right there to appeal why Marcus Rashford's not been sent off. Because the tackle he does in on that Plzen player is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And if he would have got sent off then, which I think he deserved to be, I think he should have gone. I think he should have been sent off. I think it's a dangerous tackle. It's a stupid decision to make that tackle, knowing you're on a yellow card. And if we go down to 10 men, Marcus Rashford would have had to be blamed for tonight's result. Because when you're down to 10, how the hell are we going to get back into that game knowing we're a man down? Marcus Rashford's decision-making is disgusting. But by the body language and by his substitution to bring him on for Hojlund was an absolute better thing to do. But the body language and the non-existent meet-up or expression from either the manager or Marcus Rashford, for me tonight, that said a lot. There was no meeting. There was no encouragement. There was no one-to-one when he got brought off. There was no communication between Amorim and Rashford tonight when he got brought off. And I thought that was massively interesting because I think Rashford knew this is it. There's no coming back from this. I've played really, really shit tonight. I've offered nothing going forward. My attacking play has been dreadful. My decision-making has been even worse. And to be subbed off, I'm going to feel pissed. I'm going to feel annoyed. But I think it was the correct thing for Amorim to do. But when there was no acknowledgement between the manager and Rashford, when Rashford went to the bench and Amorim was on the touchline, nowhere near Rashford, that was a telltale sign of you're going. And I think that is going to be potentially, this is going to be Marcus Rashford's last few games as a Man United player. If we can shift him in January and get from what we can, get him out and put it back into the current first team, because that is the only way I see this going. It's Marcus Rashford has moved on, and I think it's better for everyone at the club and for Marcus Rashford himself. He ain't the same player. He's had his chances. He's got away with a lot of shit, and by body language, by his attitude, and by his facial expressions, and by his performance tonight, that was it for me. that was nail on the coffin of Marcus Rashford. That tonight has to be the final straw. You can't be reacting like that because you've been subbed off, because you've been shit. But it was the correct thing to do because Manchester United went up another level. We massively went up another level. And I don't know why those subs were the right ones, but everything started to click. And again, I think a lot of those players benefited from Marcus Rashford going off than having Marcus Rashford on the pitch. Everything looked better. Everything looked a bit more we looked more of an attacking threat. We were a bit more defensively solid. And if you go to those last 15 minutes, look at the amount of chances that front three had with Garnacho, Hojlund and Ahmad. Look at the amount of chances. We could have had at least 3, 4, 5 goals in that last 15 minutes because Viktoria Plzen were massively wide open. They pushed way too many up, and then look at the space Plzen left from their midfield to their back four. Viktoria Plzen were there for the taking. And you know what? I am glad we've got Rasmus Hojlund here. And again, I still don't think he's safe here. I still don't think his future lies at this football club. But tonight, that's 5 goals in 6 games. That's not an exactly bad return rate for his form at this moment in time. Because I'll tell you what, we brought Ahmad, we brought Matt, we brought Malacia off, we brought ZIRKZEE off. Who else did we bring off? We brought ZIRKZEE off. We brought... Who else did we bring off? Who did we bring off? We brought off ZIRKZEE. We brought off Rashford. And we brought off Malacia. We brought Antony, Mount and Hojlund on. And again tonight, I think the play from Ahmad was absolutely phenomenal. And again, surprise, surprise, an unlikely, contender for a good start to his appearance in the second half was the pass from Ahmad to Antony, from Antony to Ahmad to put Ahmad in that penalty. But the way Ahmad was able to take both of those Viktoria Plzen players on and nutmegs one of them. And again, he does go for the shot on goal, and you really, really hope that the shot that rebounds off did the Ahmad shot rebound off the Viktoria Plzen centre back, and Hojlund then had a tap in, makes it 1-1. And in that moment, I thought Ahmad's got 2 options here. This is going to go in, or he's going to have a shot. And I when he had the shot, I thought to myself, there was such a better option there than shooting. And I thought he's got the right to go for goal. Of course, he's got the right to go for goal, but I think you've got to be lucky that the shot has managed to rebound off that Plzen player and it's fell to Hojlund for a tap in and makes it 1-1. And at that moment, the gears went up a level again, and the intensity and the pressure that Man United put Plzen under, Plzen couldn't cope in that last 15 minutes. I think the United goal absolutely shook them. The Plzen glory and the Plzen moments to savour that they've got the lead, that went out the window as soon as we made it 1-1. And I don't know why that was. I think Plzen reacted so badly to going to 1-1. I don't know why, because Plzen should have been quite in a monumental moment of right. If we can make it 1-0, let's try and find the second goal. And I think if they managed to have done that, we would have lost that game. We would have lost that game quite comfortably if they would have found that second goal. But I'm glad for Rasmus. He was in the right place at the right time to put it in for a tap-in, because I think if no one's there, that would have ended up being cleared away and Plzen would have kept that out. But you've got to applaud the pass from Antony to Ahmad, and you've got to applaud the skill that Ahmad has managed to take on 2 Plzen players at the same time and then nutmegs them with a great piece of skill and has that shot on goal. That Ahmad's also got to count himself lucky that his shot has rebounded off the Plzen player in the first place and it's fell to Rasmus Hojlund for an absolute tapping, because the goalkeeper's nowhere near it. The goalkeeper's absolutely fell for Ahmad's shot. It's fell off either the goalkeeper or their centre-back, and it's fell to Hojlund for that tap-in. He makes it 1-1. The levels then went up. And I'll tell you what I was really impressed with. I was really, really impressed with Mason Mount. And I don't know where this Mason Mount's been, but the 2 chances he had on goal, he should have scored. Like, I know Mason Mount's Man United career so far has absolutely been a shocking one, and the move from Chelsea hasn't exactly worked out. But the levels and the intensity and the energy from Mount tonight was absolutely impressive. I don't know where this Mason Mount's been. I don't know where this Mount regeneration has been, because he was good at Chelsea when he started. And then tonight, when he gets brought on, the energy levels are up here. His pressure and intensity to put that Pilsen back foot under the pressure he put them under to try and win every ball back that fell to a Pilsen player. The energy was there from Mason Mount. The energy was there. And I'm surprised by that, because we've not seen that Mason Mount for seasons, have we, really? It's taken 2 seasons, really, to get Mason Mount up to speed. And tonight, I was actually impressed with his commitment, because at least he's actually going for it, and at least he's actually trying. I just wish the 2 chances he had on goal he buried, because I think if he would have took the first one, I don't know why he's hit it low and hard and tried to aim from the bottom right-hand corner. He either should have aimed for the front post, or he should have tried to have chipped it over the Viktoria Plzen goalkeeper. That would have got us in front. That would have been 2-1. We would have had the lead. But the chance he had after that, again, he should have scored that. And I felt for him, because you know what? At least he's making the right runs. At least he's getting into space and free air ahead of him to have a free shot on goal. That was what I liked about Mason Mount in the second half. He was managing to get in that opposition penalty area and create so many problems and so many attacking opportunities for himself and Manchester United to try and get into the lead of that game. Mason Mount was impressive tonight, and I don't know where it's been. But I think tonight it shows. He was a lot better than Joshua ZIRKZEE. He was a lot better than Marcus Rashford, and the sub for him was the correct thing to do. You've got to applaud Ruben Amorim for doing that for Man United tonight, putting Mason Mount on to see what he could do. And I thought his pressure, his intensity, and his encouragement, Mason Mount looked like a great player tonight. And I don't know where it's been, but it looked like a completely different player than what I've seen at Chelsea, and it looked like a completely different player than what I've seen in a Man United shirt so far. His intensity and the positivity and the confidence that I got from Mason Mount was unrecognisable, because I'm not Mason Mount's biggest fan. I don't think this move has worked from Chelsea. I don't think it's been a great one, and I don't think it's really worked out for club or player. But tonight, he seemed different to anyone else I've seen in the United shirt. Like, the positive in his game, the runs he was making, the pass he was being able to produce, the amount of players he was being able to get in space, the amount of runs on and off the ball that he was making and putting himself in a positive way to actually create a chance on goal. That is what you call players trying to get into space. That is what you call players trying to get something in on goal. That is what you've got players making being in the right place at the right time. Mason Mount offered something different, and I like that. I really, really like that. I think if we would have got those 2 goals, it would have been 3-1. The game would have been won. And I think tonight, again, I think it showed that we looked a lot more energised. We looked a lot more of an attacking threat. And I like that. I really, really liked that different direction. I like that different positivity going forward with Mount being brought on, because it looked a lot more of an attacking threat. And Man United had to go for it. We had to change something, because ZIRKZEE in the number 10 position is an absolute waste. Why ZIRKZEE is being deployed in the number 10 position, I just don't get. Like, again, how many games has he gone without a goal now? How many games has he gone without a goal? Everton, non-existent again. And I don't know why that is. I think, again, you can see why Bayern Munich got rid of him, and you can see why they sent him to Bologna. And I think you can see why Man United have absolutely fell for the price tag. They have fallen for the cheap option. And I think Bologna absolutely pulled us in. I think Bologna realised Man United were going to pay what they wanted. They wanted to get for ZIRKZEE, because they realised he was good at Serie A level, but the Premier League, he's going to get found out. Even in European football, he'll be wasted. There'll be nothing of an attacking threat. It'll be wasteful. And I think, again, he holds onto the ball way too much. The amount of times he gets the ball and the amount of seconds he holds the ball up for just to try and make a pass, and then he realises he's then got 2 Pilsen players on him at the same time. He's holding the ball up way too long. He's holding onto the ball way too long. He needs to get that ball moving quicker. And that's what an improvement I want to see. I want to see one-touch passing. I don't want to see players holding onto the ball way too long. And I think we did a lot of that tonight. I think holding onto the ball way too long was a big problematic issue for United tonight. We just hold the ball too much. We need to move the ball quicker and make more of the attacking threats. We need to be going for the juggler. We need to be going for the juggernaut. We really need to start pounding the opposition with chance after chance after chance after chance. And that is by getting the ball quicker from the defence to the midfield, then onto that attack. We need to make that more of an attacking threat. And we don't do it because we hold on to the ball too long. You've then got Rashford, who is completely non-existent. Go get subbed off, throws his toys out the pram, and apparently he heads straight down the tunnel. That is a player whose future's been told you're out. You're going to be got rid of. You're getting sold. Get the fuck out. And that is probably the right thing to do. Rashford going out is going to be beneficial for this football club moving forward because his attitude stinks. He moaned, he complained, he got subbed off, and his attitude and the non-acknowledgement from the manager to the player, that was a clear sign. His future's over. That's going to be it. And I think also the only bit I would say that I was impressed with by Bruno Fernandes was for the second goal. The quick free kick to get Rasmus in that Viktoria Plzen player, in the Viktoria Plzen penalty area. And Rasmus Hojlund still had a lot of work to do. Rasmus still had way too much work to do because he still had that Viktoria Plzen centre-back putting him under immense pressure to try and win that ball back. But the movement and the turn and the quality of finish from Rasmus is pure quality. And again, you've got to applaud not just the quick free kick from Bruno. You've got to award the work ethic and the work rate. You've got to reward Rasmus Hojlund for not giving up on that chance, because if we come out of here with a point, that isn't good enough. Not against teams like Plzen. You need to be winning. You can't be drawing games against Plzen where we need to be winning. And I think the quick movement from Rasmus Hojlund and the strength of his body and the quality of the finish is great. Like, it's really fantastic because he's managed to turn that Plzen player and he's managed to leave that Plzen player in the penalty area alone because he's managed to get him off him. He's managed to get all that pressure. Rasmus Hojlund's not folded under it. And Rasmus Hojlund could have easily lost the ball. He could have easily had that attacking chance cut out. He easily could have lost the ball if he would have played it, held on to the ball a bit too long, which ZIRKZEE did do a lot in the first half. I think if Hojlund would have held on to that ball way too long when Bruno took the quick free kick to get him in that free one-on-one, while still under the pressure of that Plzen centre-back all over him. If Rasmus holds on to that ball too long, they either clear it all the way or the goalkeeper comes to collect the ball. But Rasmus Hojlund does the right thing at the right time and shoots quickly. That is what you call a striker who is looking for goals. That is what you call a hungry striker trying to get the ball in the net and prove a fucking point. Because I tell you what, we are so much better off without certain players in that team. And that showed by the second half subs. Again, the only decent thing Anthony did in that second half was the pass to put Ahmad through against those two Plzen players. Apart from that, how many more shots did we see outside the penalty area? How many shots did we see Anthony have against that Plzen goal? And how many did we see go over their crossbar? I mean, the cockiness and the arrogancy and the crap that comes out of Anthony is unforgivable. Like, you create one decent pass for the whole of the second half and your game goes tits up after that, and you have two stupid shots on goal because you've got free of space and you feel like it's the right thing at the right time and the correct thing in your mind to do, where United are trying to win this game and you've got players going for audacious shots. That's got to stop, because Bruno Fernandes did that in the first half where he could have slipped Ahmad in but decides to go for glory and I'll do it, I'll have the shot here, let me have this moment. You could have slipped Ahmad in, Bruno, and he didn't do it. That is cockiness. That's arrogancy. And that is putting him before the club and the players and the manager and even the team. He's putting himself first. That's what Anthony did. That's what ZIRKZEE did. That's what Rashford did. That's what Malacia did. And that is what DALOT did. Again, look at how many shots now and look how many people are realising every time DALOT gets the ball, he has an audacious shot from 30 yards out. That's all we get from DALOT now, is speculative shots from outside the penalty area from 30 yards. Again, if anyone wants to go and watch DALOT, be fucking careful or basically just duck, because to go with shots 30 yards outside the penalty area where we're in a really difficult moment. We need to win this game. And we've got players putting themselves before the football club with their shit amateurish decisions, pathetic individual errors, and you've got players basically putting themselves above everybody else at the football club, above the manager, above the fans, above the players, and basically above the team, thinking about their own individual brilliance. And I can't stand that. And again, players, they want to have that moment of glory, and I completely understand that. But some of the indecision making at that football club from certain players in that team is disgusting because they're costing us results. And you can see by the touchline, you can see the frustration, you can see the anger, you can see the annoyance in Ruben Amorim's body language, in his facial expressions. He is getting very, very frustrated with a lot of these United players because they're not turning up. They're not showing the quality and they're fucking him over. But you've got to applaud Amorim for getting in the right players at the right time in that second half. The substitutions were absolutely nailed on brilliant tonight. And he did them at the right time because he had to respond when we went 1-0 down. If we didn't respond quickly, we would have lost this game. And if he would have kept ZIRKZEE and Rashford and Malacia on for any longer, I think we would have lost that game. I don't think we would have got back into that game. And I don't think we would have had this result. So win 2-1, United have got lucky because of the manager. Because of Ruben Amorim's actually got some balls to make subs and take off certain players. When you had the under-10 arc, he kept on all his favourites. Tonight, you've got a manager who's not afraid to go against the grind and actually get rid of half these players off the pitch before they make the result even worse. Ruben Amorim is not afraid to make these decisions. And that is what I like about the manager. He is not afraid to actually go there. You've got a manager who's actually got some balls to make these decisions. And it says a lot about the football club. It says a lot about the manager I think we've got here. That Ruben Amorim isn't taking any prisoners. All these United players are now on red alert because they've got a January transfer window where half of them have been told to basically fuck off. And you've got them also a massive rebuild in the summer, which it's going to take. And I think tonight, if those subs wouldn't have happened, and I don't think if Mount was introduced or Rasmus or even Antony to an extent for an equaliser for the pass to Ahmad, and I think we would have lost that game. I think those 3 subs at that time were probably the correct ones to do because we ended up having to deploy. We still had Ahmad on the right wing back. We still have CASEMIRO and FERNANDES. Left wing back, we brought off Malacia. We brought on Mount, which I thought was a blessing in disguise, really. I didn't think Mount would have been that good at left wing back. I thought that would have been a struggle, but he played really, really well in that position. And then we had Hojlund, Ahmad. What do we have? I had Hojlund, Ahmad. And I think we ended up bringing GARNACHO on the end, go at inside that front 3, which, again, I think it really, really did work. I think the sub tonight, you've got to applaud Ruben Amorim for making the correct ones because it really, really turned the game around. And I'm glad that Rasmus Hojlund has found another 2 goals because it's only going to do his confidence the world of good. It shows a message to ZIRKZEE. It shows a message to Rashford. It sends a message to that if you strikers are failing to produce and you strikers aren't getting the results that we want, he's going to prove a point. And that is what I like about Rasmus Hojlund. He doesn't give up. He actually goes for it. And he does produce. And again, his finishing is quality. He could have had an hat-trick because it was either Fernandes or GARNACHO that got a ball into the penalty area. And I think Rasmus was that close away from finding his second. If that would have gone in, and then we would have found that 3rd goal through Rasmus as well, he would have had his first United hat-trick. But I applaud the second half substitutions because that won us the game. I think without Ruben Amorim making those tactical adjustments, I don't see United getting a result. I think United would have taken a point, and a point they would have absolutely applauded. If they would have applauded a point, I would have struggled to see how that was a positive. I would have seen that as a massive negative because, like I said, we are currently 5th in Europa League standings. We're in the automatic section at the moment to qualify for the knockouts. If we stay there and results go our way, we win our last 2 games. We're through to the knockout rounds. We avoid a 2-legged playoff, which we don't fucking want. you've got to applaud the subs. But I think you've got to give player of the match to Rasmus Hojlund for his 2 goals. Mason Mount's impressive second half cameo appearance with all the chances and the attacking opportunities he created, as well as his ability to create some good passing. And you've also got to applaud Ahmad for the run he got for the equaliser. And I'm giving all 3 of them player of the match. So I hope you enjoyed this full-time reaction. Viktoria Plzen 1, Manchester United 2. Rasmus Hojlund at the double for Manchester United away in the brand new Europa League format on match day 6 of this 24-25 season. Please hit the like button, the share button. Please keep subscribing to the channel, which is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to always remember the notification bell. If you put that bell on at all times, you'll receive dedicated and upcoming brand new content that we've got planned in the last 3 weeks of December in 2024 this year. We've got brand new videos, brand new shorts, brand new live streams, and much more brand stuff for all of you to be part of on this channel, on this community. And tomorrow evening, we'll be doing the Premier League look ahead for the first Manchester derby under Ruben Amorim. It's Manchester City against Manchester United on Sunday evening. We'll be doing the Premier League look ahead for that tomorrow evening, so look out for that. The first Manchester derby under the Ruben Amorim era. If we can play like that we did in the second half, City are there for the taking, especially the way City are at the moment. So enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. Stay safe. Be nice. Be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys all on the next one.